So this shit sucked.
After the
I really don't know how else to start off this. Is that Obi-Wan TV show sucked. And I called it. Like, I literally said when the trailer came out. I literally said it in my review. You could even look it up. Quote me on this shit. I said it was going to be bad. I immediately said it that it was going to be about different stories and none of it was going to pay off. And that's exactly what happened. You see, for those of you who haven't watched the show, this show was extremely bad. Because what it is, it's actually a story about three different people, three different characters, and seeing them grow and develop by the end of the show. But none of them really paid off. And the show it's supposed to be about, Obi-Wan, he's maybe in like 30% of the show. So you have equal development put into the other two characters that doesn't pay off and they don't actually really change. And then the main character who we're supposed to see, we only see him with a few good juicy bits, but then that's it. Like it's all about the other characters. And it doesn't work out. It's crap. It's bad. Oh, this show is so bad. The only way I could really think of explaining it is that this is so bad I wouldn't be surprised if every single individual who's a part of the show lost their job, their career, everything. And they probably deserve it. Like all the writers, all the directors, they need to lose their job. They need to lose their career. This isn't some like, oh, they need to be canceled. No, no, no. This is just, you're doing a bad job. This clearly isn't the field for you. You can't do a story that's so easy. It's so easy to do a story like this. Obi-Wan was a golden plate with this juicy steak on it, but somehow you ended up doing a TV show that looks like a middle-aged man having sex with a walrus on the beach. It looked awful. It was awful. Everything about this show is stupid, horrendous, repugnant at its core. There was nothing great about this show. The only great thing about it was like the 10 minutes of lightsaber combat. That is it. Everything else about the show sucked. And that's not saying much. Oh my god, the action scenes are so good. Not really. Not really. Not really at all. In fact, if you put like 10 seconds of your brain being on during those lightsaber scenes suck. Because it's always like, wait a second. But in the story, Obi-Wan lost his connection to the Force, which again is a dumb story, but now all of a sudden he's fighting on equal terms with Vader. And Vader's not even fighting in a Vader style. He's fighting kind of like the way he did before he was Vader, so that doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of bad things in this. And if we were to ever go down the list of bad things that happened in the show, this would be like an hour-long video. This might actually be a season. That's how long this video could become if I ever talked about how many bad things there were done in this show. It could genuinely be, oh my god, it could actually be a season. We could do a whole season 1 of Obi-Wan and then immediately watch Freezer 700, a whole season 1 of everything bad about Obi-Wan. It would be that much shit that is bad. It's awful. And there was some media posting and such. I'm not sure if this relates to anything, but there was a lot of people apparently not liking one of the characters in Obi-Wan, who's one of the characters that we see development. What's her face? You see, I can't really think of her name because she's not a good character. There was a bit of like backlash, like public backlash with her, and apparently people didn't like her. And I don't blame them because the show sucked. There was no character development, as I said. This Inquisitor, whoever she was, sucked. 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 Oh my god. So in the Obi-Wan TV show, they tried pulling it off like, here's this Inquisitor who's extremely ambitious. Extremely. She's willing to cross anybody. She's extremely bloodthirsty, kills anybody for no fucking reason. And the other Inquisitors are always like, you need to calm the fuck down. Like, you're just way overreaching your boundaries. You're trying too hard, okay? You need to just go into a box, settle down for a bit, and just relax. But by the end of the show, all of a sudden she gets her ass beat, and that's it. She all of a sudden like spares Luke for no reason. I'm not joking. She actually has Luke with a lightsaber at this boy's throat, and that's it. Like, she all of a sudden turns a leaf going, I can't kill him. I can't kill him. But you killed other children with no problem. You killed a bunch of women for no problem. You killed a bunch of men, no problem. All of a sudden, with zero personal growth, zero changes in her life other than getting her ass beat, all of a sudden she's like, oh, I'm a good person now. So what kind of story is Obi-Wan then? Like, what is it? Does it mean that, oh, if you see a really bad individual in your life, someone who's just really wrong, really obtuse, really rude, just beat their ass and all of a sudden they become a better person? Just beat the shit out of them. Leave them bleeding. Leave them near death and they will become a good person. That's a story I got from the Inquisitor, because that seemed to have been that seemed to have been the case. I really don't know what her story was by this point. It was that bad. It was hard for me to keep track of what she was doing. There was so many, oh my god. There were so many bad things. It's one of those things where every time I was watching this show, episode by episode, I was always wondering to myself, why don't they just have a room of Gordon Ramsays, and every episode that's done, the director, the movie writer, everybody, they all just come out and go, so, what'd you guys think? And all of them in the room just started letting out all the ventilating, like just all the things that was wrong with the show. They just start ripping into them. This was shit. This was donkey piss. What is this shit? And then they just go off and off. Like, you have a story about Leia, but it makes no fucking sense. It's bad. It's bad. Like, oh my god. There's so much wrong with it that, as I said at the beginning of this video, if no one here loses their job, then that's because of a much greater issue. And this is an issue I see as well with Star Wars ever since Episode 8. Episode 8 was so bad. Oh my god. So Star Wars Episode 8 was extremely bad. And the reason why I have no hope anymore for movies, I have no more hope anymore for TV shows, I have no more hope for anything in this world. And the main reason why is because if you can make such extremely bad movies, extremely bad TV shows, extremely bad stuff that it ruins classics, if it's that bad that it makes good movies turn bad, and you don't lose your career, you don't lose your job, you still make shit, and you still make millions of dollars, we're never going to see a good movie again. We're never going to see a good TV show again. We're never going to see anything that's good ever again until we start firing people. Until we start getting these people out of these careers. In other words, I want the people who are in charge to suffer. They need to suffer. You make a bad product, you need to reap the consequences. Unfortunately, with TV shows like Obi-Wan, they're going to make their millions of dollars. Disney doesn't give a fuck. But was it well-earned dollars? Absolutely not. Was there anything good about the show? Only a few action scenes, but even then, the action scenes sucked because if you paid any attention to the story, it was bad. There's really nothing good about this show. Now, what the fans wanted was totally different. What people wanted to see in the Star Wars Obi-Wan shows, they wanted to see this character who's still strictly believing in his faith, still good-natured about his faith, but he's like a wandering samurai. He is extremely skilled, he is extremely dangerous, And he is willing to put those skills and putting that danger he has into anybody who threatens his mission, which is to look after Luke Skywalker. Meanwhile, he's dealing with possibly PTSD. He's possibly looking at his past going, did I make mistakes? Yeah. Could I have done things differently? Absolutely. Could I maybe have stopped Anakin from turning Darth Vader? I think so. But that's part of life, is that now I know. Now I know what went wrong. Now I can make Luke a better Jedi for it. Now I can see the positivity in Luke. There is hope in Luke. This is what it's supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be Star Wars Obi-Wan. But instead, we got this. An Obi-Wan who just abandons Luke willy-nilly, doesn't give a shit, uses guns for whatever reason. All of a sudden, with zero training, zero recollection, he just knows how to use his lightsaber perfectly, flawlessly. Has his connection to the Force restored in a matter of 30 minutes, which, mind you, it takes even the greatest Jedi. It takes them days, months. But Obi-Wan could apparently do it blink of an eye. As long as he wills it, boom, he's got the Force all of a sudden. Yeah. You know what this could have been good at? This could have been a great show to introduce new Star Wars villains. This could have been a great TV show to introduce old villains. This could have been a great TV show to introduce interesting Jedi, where they return to their roots. Those of you who've been a part of my channel know is that I'm actually hinting at a certain Sith Lord who I love a lot. A Sith Lord I find so very intriguing, but so deadly, so powerful, he actually ends up ruling the galaxy because he's that good. That would be Darth Krayt. Because this ties directly into it. Obi-Wan is protecting Owen. He's protecting the farm. He's protecting Luke. All of a sudden, a Tusken Raider who wields a lightsaber is roaming through Tatooine, attacking farms, gathering more Tusken tribes, trying to overthrow the Empire. The Tusken Raider with a lightsaber meets Obi-Wan, and they both recognize each other. I am Asherad Het. Tusken Raider turned Jedi Master, now back to Tusken Raider. I'm going to get revenge against the Empire for what they did to us Jedi. And Obi-Wan just goes, that's great. You need to get the fuck off this planet. And Asherad Het goes, that's not gonna happen, Obi-Wan. You should be helping me. We should work together. You're a great Jedi. Just come with me and we can fight the Empire. We have the troops. And Obi-Wan goes, that's great. You need to get off this planet. And ignites his lightsaber. And they both go, okay, I will duel you. And they duel. Asherad Het loses. And Obi-Wan says, now I exile you off this planet forever. And he gets captured and he turns into Darth Krayt. That is a much better story than what we got. If they had just done a story where it's Obi-Wan walking through the desert, walking through Anchorhead, walking through Mos Eisley, and he sees around him people suffering. He sees that he could do something about it, but he chooses not to. He only does things like when he hears a bunch of gangsters behind him talking about how they heard of a farm that has a boy and two people who are kind of old that they're going to go hit up for a raid. And all of a sudden, Obi-Wan just goes in the back alley where they are, and they're dead. Obi-Wan walks through the desert. He sees a bunch of Tusken Raiders who are pretty much inbound to the farm. All of a sudden, they're dead. He sees a bunch of Jawas who plan on stripping all the mechanical parts in Owen's farm. All of a sudden, they're encouraged to go to a different farm. This would have been a much better story. And then they keep hinting that there is a massive warpath of Tusken Raiders coming to the farm. And finally, at the season finale, that's what we see is a warrior Jedi Tusken Raider. And then we get the reveal that he will become Darth Krayt. And that could open up avenues for old ways of old villains to come back into the canon. That would have been much better than this. Look at that. In just 10 minutes, I wrote a better story than a TV show. In 10 minutes, you could actually visualize and see a TV show like that. That would have been amazing. Instead, we got this shit. Well, I'm going to be like Disney Plus now and leave you guys with the steaming pile of shit. If anyone actually liked this TV show, you can please announce yourself in the comments section and just type out for me that you are a plain, ridiculous dumbass that will never have anything good in your life. And that is totally fine. In fact, I encourage it. Because if anything needs to be canceled in these days, is people who support this shit. There was nothing good about this. Anyone who's going to say, oh, well, the lightsaber combat was great between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, it absolutely wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. It was so bad. Ugh. Literally, when we see Darth Vader fight, it's always that he uses one hand on his lightsaber when he's fighting an opponent who is kind of weak. And he's really just toying with them. And he's very slow, very brutal. He's an unstoppable force. But when we see him fighting Obi-Wan, he fights the same way. And meanwhile, he's getting his ass kicked. There are very few moments where he actually puts both hands on his lightsaber. Now, you may think, Free 700, that's a very small complaint. Why is that a big deal? It is big. Vader is not this agile person, but yet in the TV show, that's what we see. He's like putting his lightsaber behind his back. He's putting it on his shoulder. He's going all crazy with it, twirling it, all one-handed, mind you. If he's fighting Obi-Wan, I expect him to use both hands. When he's fighting Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back, the most greatest movie in all of Star Wars, that's how he fights Luke. He fights Luke one-handed. He's messing around with him. Luke hits him a few times. And what does Darth Vader do? The music literally changes. You see Vader holding his lightsaber with one hand, and all of a sudden the music changes as he goes, boom, puts his second hand on. And from there, Luke doesn't even stand a fucking chance. Luke gets annihilated in that fight. The moment he put his second hand on that lightsaber, he went to town. He was swinging, cleaving. Luke couldn't even get an opening. He was on the defense for the rest of the fight. And yet here he is fighting Obi-Wan, getting his ass kicked, getting his armor destroyed. His helmet blows open. And he's still fighting one-handed. Still fighting like room, twirling it around and shit. That is not how Darth Vader fights. That is not the way I was expecting that fight to go. It was bad. As I said, the best thing about this show was also bad. How do you do that? How do you fuck up the best thing about your show? This was bad. Does this deserve a rating? Sure. Fuck it. You want a rating? 1. 1 out of 10. Shit, we could even say 1 out of 100. It was that bad. It was so bad. That's all we could say. Besides that, this has been Free 700. I'm out. As I said, please announce yourself in the comment section if you're a retard who likes this kind of shit. That's fine. I need someone to talk shit to anyways. I don't mind talking shit to you. Just type down in the comment that, hey, I'm a stupid piece of shit who actually liked this film and thought every episode of it was just amazing. It was just beautiful. It was just golden. Just say that in the comment section, please. Oh my god.